All righty. So, hey, welcome everybody. We have a very special guest joining us today, Sal, who's lost 25 pounds in 90 days and even got abs while eating pizza. So, Sal, welcome and thank you so much for taking some time to join us here today.
You got it, Coach. How you doing?
Doing great, man. How about you today?
It's been a great day so far.
Love that. Love that. Same here.
Yeah.
And guys, just a heads up, we are also donating up to $1,000 to the Sarcoma Foundation of America. And for each comment that you leave, we will be donating $5. And for each share that you leave, we will be donating $10 with no limits to the amount of comments or shares that you can leave. So Sal, why don't we get started in this way? Why don't you introduce yourself, share with everybody about who you are and what the connection is between you and the Sarcoma Foundation of America.
Sure. So my name is Sal, and I'm a high school teacher, campus minister at a private high school in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. And, we both went to school there. So, it's just, it's a blessing. I feel like, there's that saying where, you basically, if you love what you do, you haven't worked a day in your life. And that's very true to all the great things that happen here at the school. I'm married, and my wife Laura has been extremely supportive. I have a soon-to-be 3-year-old daughter who certainly gives me a run for my money, and a lot of the reasons why I've joined in with partnering up with you is because of my family foremost, and just making sure my wife and I, when we first met, made this agreement that I have to live to be 109. I'm trying to stick through it.
I love that. Why 109?
Well, because I'm 9 years older than her. So, her genes and her family have been pretty strong. The reason why we met was through her grandmother, who at the time was 92. And I helped her go down the stairs of the basilica. And, that's how Laura and I met, because she was at the bottom of the steps while I was helping her grandmother downstairs, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah. And now with the Sarcoma Foundation,
right.
A very dear friend of mine who I was in grade school with all our lives. We went to Zavarian together as well, and all throughout the years we've been very, very close. And after senior year of high school, we worked together in his father's business. As a general contractor, and shortly thereafter, when he went to Boston for college, he was diagnosed with synovial sarcoma, a very, very rare type of cancer. And so the Sarcoma Foundation has been something very special to me because of the relationship I've had with my dear friend.
Thank you for sharing that, Sal.
Sure, thank you.
And on a lighter note, it inspires me to make a note to myself to help more grandmas down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
It helps being a good Samaritan that way too. But okay, cool. Why don't we get started in terms and talk a little bit more about the weight loss that you've experienced, and why don't you share, where were you before you joined the program?
So at various times, I've fluctuated. I've used various types of, strategies to lose weight. Nothing though that was substantial. My wife Laura would always, remind me that this is not a true plan. I would juice, and I love juicing, but then it got a bit cumbersome with regard to cleaning out the machine all the time. And then during the pandemic, I sustained a certain weight. I was under 200 pounds, so I was kind of cool with that. And then after my physical in January of 2021, I was again still under 200, but then I ballooned to over 210, and I just wasn't at a good place, just physically, mentally, emotionally, just wasn't myself, obviously, and I guess the biggest thing was I knew I wasn't myself. I didn't like it for many reasons, just whether it be just summertime trips to our Wildwood vacations and wanted to wear a t-shirt because I was just self-conscious, and having been an athlete, and I know that I'm never going to really tune into that physique, but I definitely wasn't that person. And so I wanted to mask behind that with wearing, looser fitting clothing, as well as, wearing a t-shirt in the pool. That was my scapegoat. I was hiding a lot of things. So, you reached out to me during the pandemic, the summer before, and you asked me hey, do you want to lose weight? And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. And you asked me what, are you doing anything for it? I'm like, well, I'm watching what I eat, and I was being very sarcastic, I wasn't taking it seriously. And I thought that I had the opportunity to also do it on my own, which even then, when I was over 210, I did get myself down to 204. I started eating better. Obviously, I wasn't, running or training or doing anything of that nature. So it could only get me so far. And, after my trip to Wildwood, I guess, I don't know if it's just subconscious, but all of a sudden, a fitness trainer popped up on my feed on Facebook, and I started looking at what he was offering and whatnot. And, it just, wheels started spinning. And then, of course, I know the great work that you've been doing, and with certain people that I know personally as well, and their tremendous results. And that's when I wanted to take this seriously. And I knew that having that conference with you, that consultation, that, it would be my way of feeling accountable for taking control back of my life. And working with you has been a tremendous blessing. It's gotten me the results thus far, and more to come. It's just been a great ride. Prior to, I guess, joining in with you, I had just attended a couple of weddings, and suits were fitting tight, among everything else. Just uncomfortable, and I just wanted to change.
I love that. I love that you mentioned you didn't take it seriously the first time,
Oh, it's the truth. Sure.
Yeah. So with that, what was different about this program than anything you've done in the past on your own?
Well, I think this is authentic. And what I mean by that is I'm still eating, I'm not cutting out meals. There's your algorithm and science behind it, right? That obviously works, and I trust. But when I was juicing, I would sometimes juice breakfast and lunch, and then have a substantial dinner. But again, those were not true meals, right? And it would only take you so far, until you put the weight back. Whereas what you're offering is, in my opinion, a lifestyle change, developing better habits. I told you early on, I said, listen, dude, this is going to be tough because I haven't really worked out. I know what to do, kind of know how to do it, but the drive and motivation to want to do it just wasn't there, and B, I have a family that loves to celebrate every occasion whenever possible. So food is just always around. That's just my life, right? And as you mentioned too, and no kidding aside, with pizza, my dad is, a proud owner of a pizzeria business. And so pizza is part of my life, and so, yeah, it is true. Getting abs and eating pizza is a secret to the source. But, it's just, like I said, your authenticity and the lifestyle change. When I heard that your program is a 6-month program, I was like, wow, okay. Because I guess a lot of the reading that I've been doing with other individuals, it's like, yeah, look how much this person lost in 12 weeks, right? So on and so forth. And you're offering double that, and I just was like, you know what? There's something noble about that, where you seek in your clients a lifestyle change and not just a quick, quick fix and you're done. There's a continuity to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of the pizza and like a lot of people hear that and they're like, that is BS. There's no way. And why don't you talk about that? Like, how did you feel when, you saw, we both saw abs popping through, and you were
Yeah.
having, I think that prior week you had pizza 3 times, literally,
Well,
like in a row.
yeah, you have been stalking my, my Fitness Pal app. I do document my food, right? That's part of the process. And I wasn't going to shy away from it. But sometimes I would have my standard breakfast and I would have my salad for lunch with, grilled chicken or whatnot. And then, as the day ends here at school, I pop into the cafe real quick and just grab a slice on the run. Hold on 1 second. I don't know.
Sure.
So anyway, with that, I know you also told me too, like, hey, you had 2 slices of pizza. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm conscious of that. Like I brought, pizza home. We had an event after school and I ordered like 14 pies and, that was, that was intense. But again, I manage that, I don't abuse it. I use it for my construct, So yeah, with regard to that, it's all worked out really well. When I'm in the mood for it, I have a craving for it. I don't deny it, but I be smart about it,
Absolutely. Yeah. And why did you feel like you needed to have someone in your corner? Because it sounded like you knew what to do and how to do it.
Again, going back to what I initially said is the accountability. For me personally, those things that you just mentioned, it just wasn't going to be the trigger to set me into that next level. Investing in you and obviously trusting you to work together. I have to call a spade and just say, hey, this is what has worked and gotten us the results that we've developed together. The accountability is huge. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Working out in the morning. Like I said, I had zero schedule. Now I took advantage of opportunities where I could have worked out. For example, if I'm putting my daughter down for a nap, I could have used that time to go down to the treadmill or even just did some sort of fitness work or whatnot. And I didn't. I decided to just lay on the couch and watch TV, having this in my corner, boosted me to that, level of where I needed to be in order to get this job done,
Yeah. Yeah. And, obviously you've had this tremendous success within our first phase of working together. And I'm curious to know, like with the physical transformation, have you experienced an internal transformation? And if so, could you maybe talk a bit about that as well?
Man, great question. Yeah, I honestly believe from day one of working with you, there was immediate results. My energy, just started to spike. I remember a week into the program, I had attended another wedding. And while I was still, I guess, in the upper, 200, 204 probably, at that point, because I was cutting weight. But I mean, man, you should have seen me on that dance floor. There was no stopping me. And that was me. That's who I am. I mean, people who know me and my history know I love to dance. So, that was like, and the funny part is too, like, I mean, the best night of my life was certainly my wedding night, where I just, had the time of my life. And I had jokingly said, you know what, I'm hanging up my dancing shoes, they came back, so they're back on, baby. Like, it's on. Internally, it's also, interestingly enough, I cut out coffee. I love coffee. I could have like cups of coffee, like name it, there's no stop to it. And I stopped drinking almost within maybe the first 3 weeks or so, working with you, because what I was feeling was my own energy. I didn't need caffeine in order to kind of power me through. Certainly it helps, of course, but like, I didn't need it. And that was my biggest realization, legit cold turkey cutting it out, to the point where, like, Laura would ask me every night, hey, do you want coffee? Only recently would I say, just give me a decaf, just for the heck of it, just to join you guys, at the dinner table. But intrinsically in my life and how it's developed me more so, being a campus minister and my prayer life and my life of faith continued to just elevate me to, again, getting me back to my roots, of who I was. Just having recognized and reflecting on this period right now, speaking to you, just, going through the motions prior to, and now it's like, here I am, like, and I'm present, I'm just reminded, even just to be my best self, for my students, for my colleagues, for my family.
I love that. I love that. And what almost stopped you from working with me and obtaining all of these benefits and this transformation, if anything?
I don't think anything almost stopped me. I mean, obviously, if you really genuinely want this to happen in your life, you're going to have to, break that barrier. You're going to have to go through it and make it happen. So what certainly helped me, obviously, too, like I said, like Laura has given me like carte blanche, given me the support to do this. Now, was it easy? No, because obviously it comes with sacrifice, but after several days and even weeks into this, and now obviously 3 months, it's been a miracle. It's been a game changer for this whole process. So nothing stopped me. And again, this too, like, what, had I not wanted this, it would have snowballed into something else, like in the years to come. And I didn't want that to happen. Funny enough, as we're going through clothes and winterizing everything and whatnot, like I held on to clothes that I used to wear, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, believing that I will fit back into these clothes. I wasn't gonna like donate them, which would have been the noble thing to do. But I was like, what? I'm hanging on to this because I'm not gonna accept my current, waist size and all that. I will be donating this though. Like, I ain't going back into this,
I love that.
34s are gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even that, like, two people are like, oh wow, 34 waist. That's not so big. But like, no, it's not. But that wasn't me. I used to be a guy walking around with like, 32. In high school, obviously 30. Will I get back to that? I don't think so. I don't try to do that either. Okay. But it's just I'm very content with this transformation. I know, like I said too, there's still more work to do, but it's the lifestyle that I'm more excited about.
Absolutely. And like, what would you say has been your favorite part of the program so far? Drinking a ton of water and peeing all the time.
Favorite part. Is there such thing as a favorite part? Well, no, my favorite part would probably just say fitting into my clothes. That really helps. But listen, I do get a rise out of the fact that committing myself to get into, the gym early in the morning, hitting out my workout, getting my day started off on a good note. You're not asking for a lot, it's 3 days a week. So again, like, just waking up a bit earlier on those 3 days and getting in, getting it done, and just finding a way to make it happen, even with regard to this, getting the 10,000 steps in, just making sure it fits in. Like, I used to be neurotic about that. I've eased up a little bit, because like, like I would literally legit like say, oh wow, like I got like only like 7,500 steps in. I got to run down to the treadmill and like get those. I kind of stay true to myself. Like that I didn't want to become obsessed with it, so I kind of hit the brakes, trusting that I will get it done, and just being more self-conscious. Like if I didn't hit the 10,000 goal, then I'll do a little more tomorrow. just to, compensate the difference,
Yep.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And what would you say has been like the biggest non-weight loss benefit so far from the program?
I mean, I came to you saying how I was moody, grouchy. I didn't have much patience. You know, I don't know. I guess part of me feels a bit sour about this. Who would want to not want to embrace the opportunities to just dance around with their daughter, their child, But having carried all this weight, the funny part is, I would literally, no exaggeration, I have photos of this too. I would literally sit my daughter on my belly, and dance with her around the house, and she always wants to dance with me. She still does. But in those moments before joining you, I'll be like, oh, come on, you're killing me, to now it's just like, you want to dance? Let's do it. So the biggest weight loss accomplishment without being weight loss has been my mindset to just embracing every single moment. And, she's no longer sitting on my belly anymore because I have none, or much smaller. But, just the fact that, I have to now hold her up too because she'd be sliding off me,
New
But,
problems,
yeah.
better
Yeah,
problems.
problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the guns come in.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Cool, man. And what would you say to maybe someone who's been if you can impart a piece of wisdom or like a nugget for someone to take away in terms of what they can do to achieve a similar outcome?
Yeah, I mean, just recognize where you are in your life. There's always hope. Don't beat yourself up. Be patient. I hope that you give it strong consideration for your own well-being, to better improve yourself, better improve your own health, and to give you a greater outlook on the day to come. Yeah, it's very personal. At the same token too, it comes with much sacrifice. Whether it be financial, whether it be time, whatever it might be. But if you're listening to this and you're not sure, or maybe you do want to be compelled to make this, do it for yourself. And finding that hope and confidence that I appreciate again the relationship that we've built through this. You checking in as often as you do, and us having our Zoom session once a week. And sometimes we're just talking about all random things to at times just really focusing on goals. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. And would you say that there's anything that I didn't ask you today that you wanted to be asked? Ursula, you should have asked me this. I was waiting to answer it. Or anything that you'd like to add from what we talked about so far today?
I mean, to be honest with you, nothing jumps out at me right now. So I'm not really sure. I apologize,
No, no.
I just love and appreciate the time that we do get to discuss this. Yeah.
Good, very good. Well, yeah, Sal. Again, congratulations on the success that you've had so far with the program, and I know moving into the next phase, it's only going to get better from here. And thank you all for watching and for joining us today. Again, we are donating up to $1,000 to the Sarcoma Foundation of America, and the way that you can help is by each comment you leave, we're donating $5, and for each share that this video receives, we will be donating $10 with no limits to the amount of shares and comments that you guys can leave. So, and if you found value from this, there are a couple of ways that you can help. One is you can like and heart this video, and two is you can, again, share this with just one other person that you believe it may also help inspire as well. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Sal, for joining us, and we will see you in our next video.
Take care.